Hi guys, we are going to be working on our medieval stained glass today. So the first thing that you are going to do is you're going to take your super long paper and you're going to fold it in half hot dog style so that it looks like this. Super long paper. Okay, and then we have the open part and we have the crease right here, and this crease is where our point is going to go. Okay, so I'm going to sketch out the type of style that I want for the top of my window. And so you can draw a straight line going like this. You could have kind of a curved line. Some people like to have a more rounded line like this. Okay, it's up to you. Some people like to get a little fancy with it. I think that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to flip mine over just for preference. Okay, so again, I have my open part right here. I have my crease here. And I'm going to sketch out the top that I want for my stained glass window. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So this is what I have so far. I'm going to go ahead and open it up to double check and make sure I didn't mess it up. Okay, so when I open it, I do have my point in the middle here. So when I cut it out, I'll have the same thing, but on the opposite side. Okay. Okay, so I have my scissors. I'm going to cut along this line here. Okay, make sure I got this. Okay, that looks pretty good, I feel like. I think I'm going to round out this spot right here. That's how I had it originally drawn. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so now that I have that drawn, or not drawn, after I have that cut, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to start drawing out my stained glass design. Now remember when we talked in class, you have a couple of options. You could draw a scene, you could have a theme for something, you could create something that looks a little bit more abstract with different shapes. But remember, if you do the shapes, generally they would have things that were very symmetrical, so they'd have like a shape and similar patterns on both sides. Okay, so think about what you want to do with yours. For me, I'm going to start kind of sketching out where my frame is going to go, where my border is, because a lot of times in stained glass, they had a kind of a border going on. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line across here, like so. Okay. Okay, so I have a kind of a border situation going on, and I think that I'm going to have I'm going to kind of section this off for my border. Let's see. Oh, I was right. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to add in some details on the sides. I'm going to say maybe my middle section kind of goes here. Actually, yeah. Okay, and I'm going to finish up the other side and I'll get right back. Okay, so here is my border. I got that done all the way around, and now I'm going to start working on the main subject for my picture here. And I've decided to go with a theme. I'm going to go with a kind of an Edgar Allan Poe theme. And so I'm going to draw a raven here. And I don't know, we'll see what happens. Let's see. So I think the head of the raven's going to go over here. It's going to take up a lot of space. And I'm actually looking at reference pictures. Okay, I would recommend looking at reference pictures too. It will help you out a lot. You can also look at pictures to get ideas, but please make sure that you are not copying off of anybody. Please, 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 please. Okay, it's one thing to have an idea or to be inspired, but we definitely don't want to copy and steal somebody's idea. There we go. Now it's a little bit more focused. Kind of looks like a kiwi right now, doesn't he? So while you are drawing on your picture, make sure you're not doing anything super teeny tiny. You want to make sure that you don't have anything that's like crazy intricate, because it's going to be a lot harder later on to outline in Sharpie and then to paint it. Okay, so if it's super intricate, it's going to be really hard to get in there. Okay, so you want to go for more basic shapes. We'll come back to that line. I feel like bird feet are always so hard to draw. You know, that's like a random thing. You're like, wow, Miss Gwen, why are you drawing bird feet all the time? But I actually paint bird feet, not bird feet specifically, birds, because I like them. And so I do encounter this quite often, more often than I would think that I would have. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to have his tail going off the page because he's so big, which is okay. So I have my bird, my raven done here. I'm going to throw an eye up here. I'm going to think about that. Okay, now I'm going to add in a picture of a skull. Just to add to the Edgar Allan Poe-ness of my picture here. Oh, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw this skull, and I'll be back here in just a few minutes to talk about segmenting and sectioning on your stained glass. Okay, that took a forever long time to draw my skull, and I still don't even love it, but you know, moving on. So after you have drawn out your subject of your stained glass, whether that be, you know, something religious, if you want to do something religious, if you want to do an abstract design, or if you want to do something that has a certain theme, like my Edgar Allan Poe situation here. Okay, dibs on that band name. Now we're going to section things off, and I'm going to start off with the raven first. Okay, so I'm going to add in some texture that kind of reminds me of how maybe the feathers might be, and this is to just kind of section off the way that we see in stained glass normally. Okay, so I'm going to use some kind of contour lines here. That means following the shape that might occur naturally, kind of on this bird, right? So I'm kind of giving a feathery look to it. So kind of along those lines here. Might add another one here. Okay, so I have that, and then I'm going to start on my bird body. So I'm going to kind of draw a line back here. And again, this is just sectioning off my bird, my raven. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and section off my background as well. And so whenever you get to your background part, you can either use kind of like S lines, which is what I'm going to use for this, or you can use more geometrical lines. So you might have like more straight angular looks. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. And since I already have a lot of straight lines for my outer part, I think I'm going to kind of keep up with a general kind of wavy S shape. And I don't want to make these spaces too small for a couple of reasons. One, we don't want it to compete with the detail that we have going on our subject. We also don't want it to get, we don't want the spaces to get too small. So remember we talked about trying to keep away from kind of more intricate looking areas. So I'm kind of just dividing up my space around my bird here. Let's see. Ooh, I don't want that one. Okay, so I'm going to finish this up here and there. Okay, so I have my background all divided up. Okay, I will be right back. We're going to jump in with our Sharpie here in just a second.